Welcome to Horn Africa Insight, your source for deep, current, and contextual news from the Horn of Africa. Today, we bring you major developments, a fierce UNGA showdown between Egypt and Ethiopia over the Nile Dam, Eritrea's diplomatic maneuvering, and a landmark nuclear cooperation deal signed by Ethiopia and Russia. Let's dive in. At the 81st United Nations General Assembly in New York, Egypt's Foreign Minister Badr Abdelati met with Sudan's Foreign Minister Mohi el-Din Salem on September 25th. The two top diplomats reaffirmed their unified rejection of Ethiopia's unilateral actions on the Grand Ethiopian Renaissance Dam, known as GERD. According to Egypt's foreign ministry, Abdelati stressed Egypt's unwavering support for Sudan's security, stability, unity, and sovereignty, emphasizing the preservation of Sudan's national institutions amid the ongoing conflict. He highlighted Cairo's commitment to advancing ceasefire efforts and helping ease Sudan's deep humanitarian crisis, which has displaced millions. The ministers also explored opportunities to deepen cooperation in health, infrastructure, and education. But at the core of their discussions was water security. Both Cairo and Khartoum rejected Ethiopia's continued operation of the Grand Ethiopian Renaissance Dam as a violation of international law, particularly the 2015 Declaration of Principles, which obligates no harm to downstream nations. This position was amplified by Egypt's September 9th letter to the UN Security Council. The letter described Grand Ethiopian Renaissance Dam's inauguration as a breach of international norms, stressing that the project carries no legal legitimacy. He pointed to the 150 million people who depend on the Nile, noting that Egypt receives 55 billion cubic meters annually, 85% of it flowing from the Blue Nile. Sudan has also echoed concerns about the dam's safety and its downstream impacts. The Grand Ethiopian Renaissance Dam dispute, simmering since 2011, has seen repeated diplomatic failures, including the 2020 Washington negotiations, where Ethiopia allegedly walked away from a final deal. At the UNGA debate, the issue took center stage once again. Ethiopia's delegate defended the September 9th inauguration of the Grand Ethiopian Renaissance Dam, calling it a symbol of African resilience and determination. Addis Ababa reminded the assembly that the dam was built with the savings of ordinary Ethiopians despite financial blockades. They accused Egypt of negotiating in bad faith, rejecting regional cooperation, and clinging to outdated Nile monopolies.
Egypt has once again made additional baseless allegations against my country, most of which are refuted by Ethiopia's previous statements and replies before this August assembly. The Grand Ethiopian Renaissance Dam is complete, and it was inaugurated on September 9th this year. This is a fact. The dam is generating electricity. It has brought immense satisfaction for Ethiopians, people of the Nile River Basin, Africans across, who aspire the continent's development and prosperity, unlike what the Egyptian delegate falsely described in his intervention just now.
Egypt's reply, delivered on September 27th, dismissed the Grand Ethiopian Renaissance Dam's legitimacy altogether. Cairo accused Ethiopia of violating international law and ignoring the 2021 Security Council statement. The Egyptian delegate further accused Addis Ababa of destabilizing the region through its memorandum with Somalia.
Our Minister of Foreign Affairs this afternoon in the general debate, the Ethiopian dam represents a unilateral measure devoid of any legal legitimacy, and Egypt stresses that despite all the flimsy efforts to give the Ethiopian dam a false veneer of acceptance and legitimacy, the dam remains a unilateral measure that violates international law and norms and doesn't produce any consequences that would affect the legal system governing the Eastern Nile Basin under international law. Furthermore, the recent Ethiopian actions represent a new violation, adding to a long list of Ethiopian violations of international law, including disregard for the presidential statement issued by the Security Council on September 15, 2021.
Egypt described Ethiopia's claims as fabrications designed to mask its own domestic troubles, urging Ethiopia to stop its threats and rejoin African cooperation. The entrenched Nile dispute has now spilled over into the heart of UN diplomacy. With both sides doubling down, the question remains: Can a binding legal framework finally bring an end to this crisis, or will the Horn of Africa remain on edge? Meanwhile, Eritrea is signaling a new willingness for dialogue. On the sidelines of UNGA, Eritrean Foreign Minister Osman Saleh met with U.S. Senior Advisor for African Affairs, Masad Fairs Boulos. According to Eritrea's mission to the UN, the talks emphasized constructive engagement, dialogue, and cooperation on regional security and stability. Minister Saleh reaffirmed Eritrea's readiness to engage in meaningful discussions, particularly regarding the Horn of Africa, the Nile Basin, and the Red Sea. Both sides expressed interest in exploring cooperation on trade, investment, infrastructure, and counterterrorism. For Eritrea, this marks a notable diplomatic opening, one that could reshape its international relations and regional role after years of isolation. In Moscow, Ethiopia and Russia formalized an action plan to develop a nuclear power plant, a bold step in Ethiopia's ambitions to diversify its energy portfolio. The agreement, signed by Rosatom's leadership and Ethiopia's electric power officials in the presence of both nations' top leadership, maps out technical, economic, and training collaboration toward nuclear capacity. Ethiopia's goal is to install a research facility and eventually a full-scale power reactor by 2035, embedding nuclear into its energy mix beyond hydropower and renewables.
Hydropower, solar, and wind have carried us far. Yet alone, they cannot power the future we are building. For Ethiopia, nuclear is not only about energy, it's about people. It will unlock knowledge for our students, provide tools for farmers, and bring healing to patients.
Supporters hail the move as visionary, offering stability and clean energy gains. Critics raise concerns over cost, safety, and feasibility, especially for a nation still expanding basic grids and managing climate risks. But the deal also deepens the Russia-Ethiopia strategic axis, underlining Ethiopia's confidence in asserting its development path. Whether this push will deliver lasting gains or expose new vulnerabilities remains a question the Horn will watch closely. That's it for today's Horn Africa Insight. From Egypt and Ethiopia's heated Nile battle to Eritrea's subtle diplomatic maneuvers and Ethiopia's ambitious nuclear leap with Russia, the Horn of Africa is once again proving to be a region where local decisions carry global impact. If you found this analysis valuable, don't forget to subscribe, like, and share this video to help us grow. Drop your thoughts in the comments below. Do you think Ethiopia's nuclear deal is a bold step forward or a risky gamble? We'd love to hear your perspective. Until next Wednesday, thank you for watching, and stay tuned for more insights from the Horn of Africa.